Panel pals enjoy the episode?
Loved it more than Foggy's wife loves Micah Sim. Just as you predicted, YouTube.
Poor little panel pals can't get no respect. What rubes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Panel Pals. We're your co-host, I'm MN Stash.
I'm Skull Ryan.
And today, my good friend, what are we looking at?
We've got another episode of Spider-Man, the new animated series from, I think, 2000. Yes. We're on episode 2. And in the order we're going in, we're on Royal Scam.
And also, in a way, it is like our own leader to Daredevil Born Again.
It is indeed, because we have a very special guest villain in this episode. Who've we got?
Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin.
But not just
any ordinary. Micheal Clark Duncan, mate.
The Kingpin of the Outlaw himself. Daredevil 2003 returns to the role.
Only. They should have. They should have went all out on the budget and go. We need. Yeah, we need. Oh my god! You could add it in. It does the same thing.
Genuine friggin' tune, dude. I believe this episode premiered a mere 6 months after the Daredevil movie. So at this point in time, Micheal Clark Duncan is the Kevin Conroy of Kingpin.
Two stellar performances. I like how this one leans in more to him being just actually overweight.
I was gonna say,
it doesn't make sense. He's actually fat, but then he's really strong.
In Daredevil, well, next week we're watching Daredevil the movie, aren't we? The Ben Affleck masterpiece, the director's cut. Well. And I'm gonna keep an eye out for if anyone ever calls him fat or makes reference to weight. So I'm pretty sure in the movie he's just huge, buff. I don't think anyone calls him Fat Man or nothing.
Well, because he's not.
He's not. That's what I mean.
You could.
Oh, he's a friggin' tank, mate. He's a weapon. You wouldn't dare call him chubby to his face.
When he takes off his jacket, mate.
Yeah, that final fight.
His shoulders are crazy.
He's a nightmare, dude.
And his legs were kicked in.
Oh.
Did not give a shit.
He picks up a grown man by his throat and crushes his neck, and you're like, no one's ever saying anything bad about this fella, dude. You know, in the comics, where Kingpin will be having a bad week, and Hammerhead or someone will be like, "Hey, the fat man's not in charge anymore." See, no one would dare say that about Micheal Clark Duncan.
It carved their skulls in, mate. No competition.
Oh, goodness me. What do you think the timeline looks like here? Then, do you think, because of how he's put on a bit of weight, this has got to be after the Daredevil movie, doesn't it?
I'm guessing he would have gone to prison for a bit, and then his lawyers would have probably got him out.
That's what I'm thinking.
But then in prison, he was constantly training.
I'm not sure.
In prison, he got fat. He just let himself go.
Everyone was too scared to mess with him, so he didn't have to get buff. Didn't have to be shredded. Again, when we watch Daredevil, I'm not sure if it actually shows him getting arrested at the end of Daredevil the movie. I just remember Matt hears police sirens and tells him, "You won't tell them who I am," because then everyone knows you got beat by a blind man.
Yeah, even though they all got beat by a blind man too, but that's besides the point.
And they'll be like, "Oh, he was blind as well. Christ, now we really have to kill him because he's making us all look stupid."
That was the actual worst part of the film for me, was that line there. It's so stupid.
It changes nothing about the situation or
that, and Bullseye going, "I want your fucking costume." Never gets a costume. What was the point of that? What was the fucking point?
And instead of making a sequel, they made Elektra. who then turned up in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, oh mate, the fact that Elektra survived and not Daredevil was bullshit.
I know, man.
That Elektra was weak as.
She
She
was
couldn't
shit.
even, yeah, couldn't do anything against fucking Daredevil or Bullseye. She got lucky against Daredevil because he was like, Elektra, stop, please. I didn't kill your father.
Daredevil didn't want her hurt her because he loved her. And she was full bloodlust going at Daredevil. And he still mugged her off, mate.
Wake me
Still
up inside.
Oh. Have you had the goofy version of that?
Ooh, probably, but it's a masterpiece in either way.
Yeah. So, in this episode, the kingpin of crime cons our hero, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, into
What a rube.
He steals an experimental computer chip that gives the Kingpin access to bank accounts all across the planet.
They could tank the economy because in 2003 everything was going digital.
Yeah, mate, it was a fresh technology back then.
It is. That's what I like about the show, though, as well, is how it's set in this weird time period where they were transitioning to what we are now. And it's cool to see like all their sort of technology and how behind it is even by today's standard.
The mobile phone Peter pulls out in this episode
Yeah.
is ancient. It's like the oldest Nokia you could ever find.
Oh mate, I couldn't stand when Keith David said when he was pissed off about the file Peter had.
How about the biolab?
Yeah, and he's like, we're ahead of my notes. he didn't give you the tape. You took the tape.
Yeah. It's like, are you taking the piss here, Parker, giving us this? You stole it?
Yeah.
He asked for it back and you said no.
Yeah, he literally goes, "Can I have my stuff back?" And he puts it in a Ziploc as he says it.
Ratty, mate.
I did think that whole section was a bit forced.
It was very close to, like, the FBI figuring out who the hell Spider-Man is, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like they're one and the same.
Yeah,
He even says it.
He says
like, well,
Spider-Man, I'll come down on you as if you were Spider-Man. But everyone
yeah, it's like,
Peter Parker could never be the wall-crawling adventurer. You're lucky.
Yeah, odd how this one guy who only takes the photos of Spidey seems to be constantly in cahoots with him. It's almost like something deep is there.
When Peter calls the FBI, it's from, like, the rooftops, isn't it?
Yeah, it was after he stole it, wasn't it?
So
he was on his way.
The FBI be able to track his location and see the sheer speed that Peter is moving through the city at. He'd be like, hang on.
But also, like, they weren't calling on a payphone. They should be able to track Kingpin's phone as well.
Yeah.
Who's the receiver? Oh, then why did Spidey go to this limo? Can we trace the limo? Can we trace the license plate?
Yeah. They'd see him messing around, and they'd be like, because they don't even believe Kingpin's, like, part of it, do they? Do you think Spider-Man's just nicked it for a laugh? It's like, what? The Kingpin's been in prison after Daredevil 2003, and Keith David's like, ha, what Kingpin? There's no Kingpin.
Even though the whole, like, Spidey never saw ID for the fake FBI guards, did he?
No.
Because he says...
I mean, he does.
That's what
I'm FBI, this is Sykes. Don't think he actually shows his badge yet.
Yeah, because doesn't he go like, huh, that's what an FBI badge actually looks like.
Yeah.
So it's like, Peter, you got shot at with blanks or whatever. These people said, yeah, we're FBI, and you just took their word for it and stole a very dangerous fucking chip that could tank the economy. You fucking dickhead.
Well, that makes...
That's like, did he not decide, maybe I should be just 100% sure this is FBI?
Yeah, he doesn't even, like, ask anyone, or he just goes straight to the building and robs it, and then hands it off to a random bloke in a car, no ID. He's got the friggin' burger on his limo. You know, it's like,
I love that fucking shit. It's so good.
is that Kingpin's logo in this universe?
I don't need that crap. Good.
There better not be one fry missing.
I love how this Kingpin was just more of like they had the jokes of him being fat in it. It's so funny.
And he paused,
Like-
was anyone want coffee?
Yeah.
Good. And then pours a load of cream on it.
Yeah. But do you notice he drinks it in one go? He
Yes.
fucking huffs it, mate.
Nice.
Even Spidey was funny because he was holding Kingpin, and the crane was like about to tip over. He's like, one word, liposuction, and they start falling.
I guarantee Dan Slott hates this episode. Did you ever see how he was like, I think it's nasty that Spider-Man calls Doc Ock four eyes and calls the Kingpin fat, as if these aren't like super criminal murderer terrorists.
But has he never read Punisher Max? Does he not know what Kingpin's done?
Rusty bums, dude. Put it this way, there's some funny bits. As I said to you before recording, Kingpin's about to put his computer chip in his laptop. He just hear, not so fast, Tubby. But when he first confronts the Kingpin, Spidey asks him, is he going to have to fight any thugs, or did you already eat them?
And the Kingpin uses his cane. We finally get to see that fucking thing work.
Kane, dude, where was that in Daredevil?
You're telling me Gladiator couldn't make a fucking laser cane?
It's real lazy, mate. If that comes into Born again, bet you it's Stark Tech.
Yeah. Even the fucking burger on the limo Stark Tech. Because, you know, Tony loved cheeseburgers.
Oh, of course.
I love
you
when he
got
was trying to... When he was trying to find the limo, and he went into the wrong one, and they were just going at it in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, you make a lovely couple.
What did you think of the Peter Parker drama during this episode? Because I wasn't that into.
I have it here. I said the FBI part felt so forced, like just to create drama, because he's steps away from making the show. Oh, the FBI randomly just find him and take him into the back of the van, and then drop him off. Drop him off, not even like outside of the place. Oh, Jersey. You know, like what the fuck, guys? Like that's way too over the top.
Would that even be a problem for Spider-Man? Have you seen the speeds he hits in this show, mate? He kept up with Turbojet. I reckon he could have got there just like 10 minutes late if he'd have swung back.
Unless Mysterio is the guy at the front.
I'm so glad you've mentioned him. Have you been spotting the Mysterio building in this show?
There's a Mysterio building?
Well, no, but there's a building, a skyscraper, that's got like a glass circle dome over the top. And every time I see it, I think, oh shit, Mysterio.
Is that his secret hideout? Is that like the final, like that when you fight him in the 2000 game?
In season 2, when it finally arrives, that fucking building's going to be revealed to have been Beck the whole time.
It's just the actual building was Beck. That's if Matt Reeves was making it, or it's like, oh, Mysterio was too goofy, so instead we just named this building Quentin Beck.
The Beck Plaza. I'll try and
Q-Beck.
I'm sure it shows up again. It might even show up in the intro. I'll try and get a screenshot of it next time I'm watching, and I'll send it right to you, because I swear to God, there's a building that just looks like Mysterio to me.
He needs to be used more. We can't have Jake Gyllenhaal be the main Mysterio.
Yeah, we need to tidy up after that friggin' Far From Home Garbo.
Spectacular was still the best.
That bit in Spectacular, like he's fighting them on movie sets. Like they're in space.
It's so good.
One of the Mysterios glasses him from behind.
Yeah, I love the whole like Wild West section.
Yeah,
and they're just fighting in the bar. It's so cool.
incredible.
Especially like when he kicks him through the fucking. Doesn't he like one of them gets kicked and all the glasses go.
Yeah, and one of them's like just a torso with one arm, and it's like grabbing Spidey's foot. He's like, "What are you gonna do? Bite me ankles?"
Even that show introduced that scene where he closes his eyes. Well, now when he ties his webbing around his face.
Yeah.
And he like uses his spider sense to defeat
Oh, yeah.
Mysterio.
Far From Home stole.
Yeah. But they did it worse because he goes, use your Peter tingle. Like, shut the
I know.
fuck up, mate.
Listen, dude, we know we're watching Spider-Man. Spider-Man's sick. Just accept it. That's what makes this show so fun. Because it takes it all seriously. I'm so sick of comic stuff being like, oh, he's wearing his underwear on his outside of his pants. But no, mate, he's a strong man. It's meant to look dramatic.
But even just like Spidey in this gets pissed off. I haven't seen Spidey get so pissed off for being played in ages. If this was Zeb Wells, it'd be the complete opposite.
Yeah, he'd be apologizing for falling for it.
Yeah. Even though the one thing I don't like though about this show and the writing of Peter is how fucking stupid he is with Mary Jane.
I know. How fucking thirsty is she got to be before he realizes?
Even the first episode we watched ends with them kissing. And then in this episode, there's still like a will they, won't they? He's like, is he that bad at signs? He just doesn't know when, like, oh, it's like, does he not realize?
She straight up says to him in this, I was so focused on whether or not you, in particular, Peter Parker, come to see me perform. And he still doesn't clock on, hey, maybe she likes me. And then she gets off with this random bloke at the end. Who was this
like
guy?
A drug dealer?
Yeah. I'm sure
it's James Franco, but it's just like actually James Franco. I love Harry and Peter in this though.
Harry, again, this might be my favourite Harry, you know. He's funny.
I love when he says something like socialism and he's like, actually, that's communism.
He's like got something about him. He's not just moping about his dad. He's actually got a bit of game. He's funny.
He bounced off Peter so well in this, and their apartment's sick. It genuinely feels like the 70s comics where like they'll live together.
Yeah.
Until Gwen fucking... Oh, that panel is always so sad where he's like crawling out of bed after Gwen's death. He's like, Peter, come back, please. And he's like, fuck you, Harry.
So you know what, Harry? I'm going to kill your dad and then I'm coming back for you.
Good thing he didn't know about Sin's past back then, mate. That Peter would have fucking... He would have ripped Norman's cock off. He wouldn't have left him anything.
Christ, mate.
70s Peter was a different breed.
Let me find my notes. Where the put it? There he is.
I miss Spidey when he would... Like in this show he does. But in general he doesn't anymore. Where he would just exit through the top of his apartment or whatever. Like, I miss that of Spidey.
It
was always so cool.
In this show, it's dead pretty because he's got that weird, like, belfry-looking thing that he climbs out of. But
it's just like, it's so cool.
In the 80s and that, it'd be like, now I can sneak out to, oh no, Randy, Bambi, and Candy are all something. So better make a quick like, huge web bat to scare them back down. There we go.
Didn't he bring someone over once? And then they all, like, were swooning over him?
Yeah.
And then Peter's like, alright. And, like, Peter, you could have had that? He could have had fucking all of them?
I remember an issue where Peter knocks on, like, the wrong door and some, like, goth Wiccan lady answers and she's immediately like, oh, come on in. I read your fortune. And he's like, no, I'm okay. But she's like a proper goth. And you're reading it, you're like, Peter, just fucking go in it. It's fine. The city will be fine. Because now he can only be
Edge.
The Tom Holland friggin', I hate using the term, but it's like cinnamon bun or something where he's like a little sweetheart and, oh, he's so goofy but fun and it's just shit.
Oh, sorry. Let me just ask Mr. Stark if I can, like, partake in this activity with you. It's like McLovin, but with Tony Stark as the police.
This game. At least McLovin gets a bit at the end, mate.
Even like the cops are fucking Tony Stark for him.
You know, he's more Michael Cera, where he's just like, well, I want to be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it'd be the right thing to do. McLovin's
Oh,
Harry.
perfect.
Yeah, we're gonna get crunk. How much crime do you think happened while Spider-Man dawdled on that one rooftop, waiting for a chance to steal the chip?
Some kid's balloon was lost for like forever in the sky, mate. No, my balloon.
4. My leg.
The pain. The woman one where it's always the most softest voice. It's like you're not in pain. I can't feel my leg. The pain.
Oh, mate. You click on someone and Spidey's like, yo, and then the woman's like, sorry, Spidey. You're like, oh, shit.
It's like, what were they expecting though? Like this Spidey doesn't lose. But they got like ambushed every 24 seconds. Spidey, there's a holdup, and then the holdup is like 5 miles down the fucking other block.
Yeah, how did she see that?
Yeah, and it's like only begun as well.
And it's always that like punk lesbian gang where they're all short-haired women in like denim jackets.
You'll never get away with this. We already have.
If I could just reach my utility belt.
They should have reused the looks like the freak wants to play. Circus in town.
Circus in town, he's boss. Love it.
It's better than the 2000s game where they were just like gargle. Spider-Man. That reminds me of, because I was 2000s, I was thinking of that 6 theme song they got on that one. the reggae like remix of it's so good.
The man, him the Spider-Man.
Does whatever Spider can.
Then it sounded Jamaican.
I mean, you can get away with it according to one commenter.
Speaking of reused,
made it.
Yeah, that's it. Speaking of reused, the guard at the computer chip processing plant or whatever the hell was the same guard who got electrocuted by Turbojet. So we're 2 episodes in. We're already reusing assets.
They reused assets in the same episode last time.
I'm pretty sure the guy Mary Jane walks away with at the end was at the protest. And he definitely comes back in Sword of Shikata, where Mary Jane gets picked over him. So we're 3 in.
What about Keith David, mate?
They reused him twice in this one episode, didn't they? He was the actor at the start, and he was the FBI. He was the fake FBI agent, and he was the real FBI agent.
They look similar too, because I thought this like when I was writing notes in between, I looked up and like, is that the same guy?
Yeah.
I love when he goes like, "What? You never seen a real actor before?"
He just happens to say it to fucking Spider-Man, the man he tricked.
Neil Patrick Harrison though continues to like honestly be one of the most underrated Spidey actors.
Yeah, dude. Like we said last time,
so good.
There's range in this. He gets funny, he gets angry, he gets sad. While in Shattered Dimensions, he's always just cocky, invincible Spider-Man.
I really don't like his Shattered Dimensions one. It was so over the top. Especially like, as we said when we did it, it was meant to be in the 616 world. Yet he doesn't give a shit about fighting Kraven.
Yeah, who's just been resurrected and just nearly killed him. Like, he's no fear.
He buried him alive last time.
Did you spot how the Kingpin of crime snaps Spider-Man's weapon with ease? How? He's definitely super... Like, when he was... Maybe... Right. When he was in prison after Daredevil, he must have went through, like, the Luke Cage friggin' power shit. Because in this dude, No way would he have survived that fall at the end unless he was superpowered. Spider-Man's
Mate,
weapon
I
is meant
was
to
so
steal.
confused.
It shows him falling to his death, and then the next scene, he's just there growling, trapped. And I was like, how the hell did he survive that? He's superpowered, gotta be.
Spidey couldn't have made it but like underneath him to web him or something. Like it made no sense. I generally thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when they cut to black.
Yeah, because Spidey shouts "nah" as if he's let him down. But no, then he's just fine. It was weird. It was a weird choice.
I guess they couldn't kill off the legend though.
Oh, they didn't even want to try in case they incurred his wrath.
You think Michael Clark Duncan would have just started freaking out in the booth?
He's reading the script and he's like,
yeah.
what's wrong?
Speaking of like
in ancient Egypt, Kingpin as he's like talking to the script writers. In ancient Egypt, they would cut out the script writers' tongues if they wrote a shitty script.
Somebody wrote a shitty script. Somebody always does.
So, I'm excited for that movie next week,
Fucking 30 minutes of glorious content, mate. You should have the special features too on that.
Yeah, I will. The back of the box specifically says Coolio's in it. That Murdoch must save an innocent man from his trial. And then in brackets, Coolio! No way, dude.
Yeah, because they showed the trial in the director's cut, because for some reason, the theatrical was like, let's cut out this very important plot point. Let's have a dance scene in the fucking park, but let's cut out the integral court case.
And this was before Spider-Man 3 as well, so...
But even you should have the concept art available. You should have the Making the Man Without Fear documentary available. I'm pretty sure, like, everything's in Braille too.
No way.
And it, like, turns into words.
Sick.
I love that about that film, how, like, even the credits were Braille.
That's the best idea.
No respect anymore. But so, in this episode...
It's just the audio description. It's just a black screen with audio description.
It'd be like watching Echo.
Go ahead. In this episode...
I was going to say about how when we're talking about Kingpin surely being killed.
Yeah.
You know where people should have been killed? Where they should have died?
Oh.
Spidey lands on the limo, and he's pissed that like they're talking shit about him.
Yep.
He webs the fucking wheels.
It's a very risky move on a public street, Spider-Man.
For some reason, Kingpin, who's not wearing his seatbelt, or the guy in front of him, they don't even fall off. Like, they don't even like really go off their chair. They just go, "Oh, that was a bit of a jolt." But this giant limo in a crowded fucking road is swerving, and you're telling me that no one got hit? I think surely, mate, that limo would have flipped over or something. Like, someone would have died.
That's like a Daredevil level thing to do, isn't it? Like, he's sensing everyone around him, so he knows exactly where to move it. That'll be safe or some bullshit you could come up with.
Even the limo is, like, for the next 10 seconds, swerving out of control. You're telling me that this limo is going to maneuver perfectly around all these cars? If they thought it through, what would have happened? Would Spidey would have wheeled the... It's the front tires, too, that he wheeled? The car would have not even tipped forward, like, it would have flipped over. But he would have at least killed the person in front of him. It'd be like how in Batman, like the Batman from 3 years ago, where he fucking causes the whole, like, fucking highway to just collapse almost, with explosions and shit.
Yeah, his Batmobile chase completely, like, obliterates the road.
I just thought it was stupid that, like, people should have definitely died then. And no one got hurt.
IMDb's now telling me that Keith David wasn't the original FBI agent. He just sounded like him. It was Jamie Haynes.
Special Agent Roberts.
Yeah. He was the bullshit one, wasn't he?
He was in Spawn as well. Why were they both in Spawn? He was the Violator in Spawn.
The Violator, the clown fella.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they're both
Overkill.
they're mates, mate. Surely they're mates.
Gotta be. Spicy City. Yum.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh,
It's actually like pretty good.
ooh.
Obviously, it's like more like adult.
Yeah.
But there's a really good episode where this is so off topic. This is fucking. Let me find the. They're all pretty good, but let me find an IMDb because I forget the name. Wait, say some random shit while I quickly try to. Oh no, I found it. It's called Love is a Download. It's the first episode, and it's really good.
Ooh.
A woman seeking escape from her abusive boyfriend finds true love in a virtual world in the guise of a geisha, whatever. So to escape, to escape her abusive boyfriend.
We can link this back to Spider-Man because the director of that episode was John Kafka, and of course, who Ravencroft Asylum, mate. Only his wife.
It's the long lost son of Mary Jane's dad, and he decided to keep the Kafka name because he's a writer, so it makes all the sense.
Oh, mate, that's it. There you go. Whipped it.
Mate, but the episode's really dark. Like it ends. It's a depressing ending. It's pretty bad.
I'll watch it later and let you know.
I found it on our binge, which is like our HBO Max.
Yeah.
But it's probably the best episode in the whole thing.
Nice.
Michelle Phillips, that sounds so familiar.
You're thinking Michelle Pfeiffer from...
Not quite as attractive, unfortunately, but she
Next
was like
up.
the main narrator of it all.
Ooh. Kingpin of crime, then, dude. Debuts in issue 50, so it's a bit of a landmark episode. He's, of course, the
Stan and John Romita Jr., not Jr., Senior.
Stan J.R., mate. The good John Romita.
JRSR.
Ooh.
I mean, that issue was pretty weird, though. Because he quits in that, so it's like, okay.
Spider-Man no more from Spider-Man 2. He must have quit. Given up. Abandoned his sad charade.
Even that whole time was weird for him because Kingpin was more. Sorry.
Is that also when Spider-Man gets a cold? What issue was that? It's the
That's
cold.
80 something.
That's quite a jump. Anyway, go on.
But it still relates. So I was gonna say, Kingpin at the start is so different to what he is now, and even around that time, especially where he was very cartoony.
Yeah, he was more super villain. While nowadays he's more businessman's villain, and
Well, Richard Fisk at the time was the fucking schemer.
Schemer, dude.
I love when he reveals himself, and then Kingpin's he's like, "I did this because I fucking hate you, Dad." And then the Kingpin sits there and he actually goes into a coma because the sheer shock was too much for him. And he's he broke his dad. He's like, Do
you reckon the schemer woke up one day and he was looking in the mirror? He was just like, I need to rebrand. This schemer thing. This doesn't really work.
I don't understand how in comics everyone has the perfect face mask. How do they always find the most perfect disguise for that?
It
You
must
couldn't
be
even.
find one that isn't claimed by someone else. But even then, the Rose is basically got Zemo's mask, but with glasses.
I love that photo you sent where he's like literally gonna chop his henchman's fingers off.
Yeah.
Next panel, sniffing the rose.
He's boss, mate. That was in
He's a
Daredevil.
very simple man.
Yeah. Do you reckon? Oh, there is indeed a Richard Fisk somewhere in this universe. Because this is gonna get fucking out, so keep with me. In Across the Spider-Verse, you briefly see a glimmer of a black Richard Fisk and his mum. What's his mum's name? Vanessa.
Are you saying?
So Clark Duncan's Kingpin does have a Vanessa and a Richard somewhere.
Could you imagine the fucking rose, mate? Imagine like that one with Matt Murdock as the kid, and if he was the rose. I found it weird how that version was like he still had the red glasses on, so it's like, is he just destined to become blind? What, mate? The intro for this show gets better each time I watch it. It always just throws me off though, the font. I'm not used to seeing the Raimi font for this.
The PlayStation 3 font. The intro, I think's boss because it's like it's so short, but it's so like, oh shit, we're going. The second it comes on, you're like, oh, get a move on, dude.
They only show like Spectacular would show Flash Thompson, fucking J. Jonah Jameson, Peter Parker, and Spider-Man separately. And then this show is like Peter, Harry, MJ. Those are the only like characters you get their own cards for.
Dude. If this was Spectacular, it would be like Max Dillon, Crazy Cindy, or whatever her name was.
Keith David, Special Agent.
Right. If every episode did change, and like, doesn't X-Men 97 do that? Like when Gambit dies, it swaps to Nightcrawler.
Oh yeah, they swapped some like Storm had her costume.
Yeah,
They swapped Storm's costume.
Every episode swaps and just shows like Peter, Harry, MJ, the villain, Indira,
You can imagine for episode 1 where it's like Norman Osborn, it's just the photo, like a still image.
It's just a box of ashes. Norman Osborn.
Aunt May and Uncle Ben, 2 old losers. Well, this is the start of when there's going to be no old people.
No oldies at all, mate. I didn't spot.
That's good because I couldn't relate to that. If that was me, I wouldn't be able to relate.
This was 2003, so yeah, I was quite young myself, and yeah, I couldn't relate. I was like, why has he got a picture of some old bastards in his bedroom? Get
Yeah.
that out of here.
Adapt trouble, you pussies.
Adapt trouble, adapt sins past.
All the great Spider-Man stories. Spidey and the Power Pack.
Oh. You know, Spidey never actually meets the Power Pack in that issue.
He's just deciding to just ramble on about Skip Westcott.
There's a Spider-Man story, and then there's a Power Pack story. They never bump into each other. Imagine reading a book called Spider-Man and Daredevil, but it's actually about Spider-Man going to buy some milk and Daredevil reading some Braille law books. You'd never interact. You'd be ripped off. You'd be fuming.
Could you imagine trying to like overcharge Daredevil in a convenience store? I love how they showed that in the comic. Like in the comics, they show it. Where he talks about you have to trust the people.
Isn't there a scene in the movie where like the taxi driver drops him off and he gives him like a tenner and he goes, "That's only $5," and Matt goes, "No, it's not." He's like trying to bullshit more money off him.
How like scummy do you have to be to do that to a blind guy?
You sure you're
I know
blind?
the economy shit though. I understand that part. It's like in Red Dead. in
Cool.
Red Dead 2, you have like beggars on the street, and for some of them, you can point a gun to their head, and you can actually like expose them for faking it. So like they actually like stand up and go, "Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just needed cash."
I can walk. That's why I don't give to them now in real life, mate. I don't believe them. Why have you got a card scanner machine if you're so homeless, eh?
It's there's a lot out there, mate.
There's a
I'm
lot.
gonna go to the comic store and
They hover outside.
one summer.
Here, and I'm like, mate, I want to look at you.
One summer, mate, I was going to the comic store in the city. Outside of the train station, I see one guy slapping his head aggressively.
Fucking
Walk 10 steps. There's a shirtless guy shadowboxing the wall. And I was like, yep, made it to the city.
Right. Back to the bus.
I don't even catch the bus. Not because like, oh, the bus. No, I'm above that. I just hate being so confined with like so many scary people. They can get right next to you and you can't do shit about it. It freaks me out.
Snookered.
That's why I take the train whenever I can.
Ooh.
So I can walk away.
Fair play.
Do you think this Kingpin would have trouble with that?
Getting the train? Well, would he get on the bus is the question.
Would the bus even be able to move?
Yeah.
I love how he gets up. The fucking the old car. Boom, boom.
You know his guard here, he's got like one specific henchman who's like his mate as well. Sykes. Is that Raimi versus Wesley?
He could be, because he like would. Oh, because he's blonde, so he looks like the guy as well from the movie.
He's kind of brainy as well, because he says, like, he goes, you know, Spider-Man could still be a threat if he figures out what we're doing. He's like warning him, like, strategically.
Yeah, and then the Kingpin dismisses it.
Poor little Spider-Man can't get no respect. What a rube. He was so good. I miss him. I would have him back in a heartbeat.
You know, he's got Vincent D'Onofrio as his competition mate. He's cooked.
That, like I said to you the other day, that scene in Deadpool and Wolverine, we're like, well, who brought us here? Suddenly you just hear,
Dun, dun. I'm an outlaw.
It's the man himself, the kingpin of crime, is fighting Cassandra Nova with Gambit and Blade.
He's got his burger in his hand, mate. Which episode do you prefer?
Pick up that order. These two.
You pick up that order, Shay?
The first one had some good action, and it was good. Like, it was a good look at Spider-Man's shit publicity. How everyone immediately fell over for Turbojet, but the scenes in this was just top quality to me. Not just because of Micheal Clark Duncan coming back. The action, like the bit where he lands on the helicopter and the music comes with like the wow, and it's like, oh shit,
Most heaviest guitar riffs.
Yeah. So I think this one. What did you think?
I think this episode does better in the Spidey aspects, but then the first episode is way better in Peter's aspects.
True. I was a bit.
It's almost like they swapped it around.
Yeah. I was not asked at all about the Peter bit in this. He was like, I'm late for Mary Jane's play 5 times.
So we've seen this, mate, in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, this was in Spider-Man 2, and we didn't get to see Bruce Campbell in this one.
But even just like with the Peter Parker and Spidey parts.
Yeah.
I felt like the villain was stronger, which helped a lot. But Peter in the first episode had a bit more of a brain. Like this one, he was just too like oblivious to MJ, whereas at least in the first one it ended with them kissing.
In the first one as well, he was more assertive. Like he's a bit bitchier in this one with like he's like, oh geez, I really should go see Mary Jane's play. Oh no, the FBI. But in the first one, he's arguing with Mary Jane over like
Politics, sort of.
Jet being an actual baddie, and she's like, no, he's like if a policeman ran into a what does she say? When Turbojet electrocutes the guard, Mary Jane's like,
oh, it was something like that, yeah, like yeah.
Something over and hit and run, and Peter's like, two wrongs don't make a right. He's out there committing crime. No matter what his reason is, he's committing crime. He's like standing up for what he believes in. Well, in this, he's more like OJ. But he's more Tom Holland in this than...
He's more Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
The thing, well, like, the producers were like, whoa, guys, what are you guys doing? You can't have a backbone?
Yeah. Guys, I'm shutting this shit down right now. Wait a minute. He's in university. Spider-Man's supposed to be in high school.
I bet some random kid's gonna watch this show and be so confused. But like, what do you mean he's friends with Harry Osborn and Mary Jane and he's like in high school? Oh, he's out of high school and he's now like a cool like in uni and shit, man. What do you mean?
So I'm 4 episodes into Spider-Man the New Animated Series, and he still hasn't met Ned.
Where's Ned? When they see Ned for the first time in the comic books, they'll be so fucking confused.
Spider-Man made his own costume. What the hell?
If This Be My Destiny was actually good, what?
Ew, Spider-Man called the guy fat. That's nasty.
I mean, this is just Dan Slott. It's a bit depressing, though, isn't it? Like the state we're at.
Very depressing, dude. That we can joke about this stuff, but have genuine, like, have truth behind it.
Yeah, we can go like, no, look at the examples. like, look here.
Trying to think, like, what would Tom Holland Spidey say in these situations that Neil Patrick Harris has been put in? He definitely wouldn't call him Tubby. He'd probably just be like, gets the computer, and he's like, you want fries with that?
No, they wouldn't even say that. I'd be like, hey, you should watch your weight. It's not healthy. Not to be mean or anything, but it's just not healthy.
It's glandular.
This is what you have to say to Tom Holland. Like, Spidey, this is medical reasons. Geez, I'm so sorry.
Whoa, Spidey, you can't say that.
I'm going to cancel you on Twitter. Even if you had when he finds out he got played,
you'd have cried.
He's not going to be as good as it was, because even like Mysterio was on like almost a way bigger level to get him played at.
Yeah, Mysterio,
and he wasn't. Yeah, but like he wasn't like furious at him. He wasn't really pissed off.
He was more worried, wasn't he? He ran to grass on him to Nick Fury, when a real man solves his problems himself.
I also thought it was shit though that Nick Fury was a Skrull. Like, what a like you tell me that like.
Well,
for the most dumbest reasons too. It was like, oh, he's a Skrull because he wanted a vacation.
Yeah, it was all to screw him over, because then they say in the third one, he goes like, you can ask Nick Fury, I've been helping people. And then he's like, Nick Fury's been off the planet for 7 months. And he's like, what?
I hated it. I haven't even like watched fucking Secret Invasion, but I already hate the concept of the way they did it.
Yeah, mate, Rhodey was a Skrull as well, wasn't he? All they have to do to make Secret Invasion cool was introduce Colette, the super Skrull. He's the sickest character, and they cocked it all up.
He was in. They had the Super Skrull in Marvel Capcom, didn't they? Like when Josh Keaton was still the voice.
Because they couldn't. It was dead crafty. Because instead of doing the Fantastic Four, they put them all in one character.
Mate, he was so overpowered. I used to use him all the time.
He's boss. When I read the whole reason I read Annihilation, the comic book where like a nihilist tries to take over space, was because I found out Super Skrull was a main character. And I was like, hell yeah, he's cool as hell.
It makes sense, mate, because like he's got the power of the fucking thing, Invisible One, Reed Richards, Johnny. That in itself, like even just saying that is crazy overpowered. Do you think we'll get them like properly ever? Because they butchered it. Wasn't like
Crap.
the replacement for the thing Drax?
I think so.
Replacement for Reed Groot?
I dropped out after 2 episodes, but I know
I
Amelia
just saw the photo.
Super Skrull.
There's the photo of was it Emily Clark, the actress? Like where she's
Yeah.
flexing her Drax arm?
Yeah. Christ.
And everything's grey. It's the funny part, everything's grey.
Did you see the trailer for Thunderbolts?
I saw like the Sentry clip.
Oh, it looks shit.
He's not even blonde.
The whole like the trailer I watched was so dog shittily put. It was put together. Remember when Suicide Squad was coming out, and they had like the goofiest trailer because they were trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy. They're obviously doing that again. There's a scene where they literally mention how they've all got the same superpower of punching hard and shooting people. Because the
What are we, some kind of Thunderbolts?
Literally, the MCU's killed all the cool villains. They haven't even got the Shocker, and he survived from it. He's in prison. Where's Vulture? You know what I mean?
I love that fucking...
Oh,
as shit as Suicide Squad was, that part always makes me laugh, though, the Will Smith thing.
yeah, what are we? Some kind of Marvel's Avengers Assemble 2014?
What are we, some kind of panel pals?
Yeah, it didn't look too good, the Thunderbolts. But
I'm only looking forward like Fantastic Four and Superman and Daredevil.
Oh yeah, Daredevil coming up, dude. Next week we've got the 2003 masterpiece that inspired
Spider-Man 3, Daredevil, Netflix, everything.
Well, we
Sopranos kids in it.
In Secret Wars Part 2 when it turns out Matt Murdock 2003 lives. He teams up with Toby finally.
Mate, so is this Daredevil and this Spidey that we're looking at, they could team up.
They could.
Ben Affleck's sort of like the perfect fucking Daredevil 2 for this one.
Yes, he's edgy and he's dark. That light's not heaven.
It's the sea train. It's so cool. Like it's so good. Man. I love when they're like, "How can you be so sure?" And then Yurik fucking lights up the double D.
What other than the Kingpin obviously being the same Kingpin, we don't get any other Daredevil references, do we? Like I know in the party, he mentions the X-Men in the party. So we know the X-Men are just out there. Yeah, he goes he's contemplating whether he should go to this party or not. He ends up going, but in costume because Electro attacks. But he's sitting at home and he's like, I should probably go to the party because, I can have one night off. And he goes, I bet the X-Men get to go to party.
What the fuck? No way. So this is like actually the world where it's like, oh, Spider-Man, X-Men, fucking Daredevil, Fantastic Four. They're all in the same thing. The Punisher.
Yeah, mate. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out for the little references like that.
I really wish we could get that one scene where Human Torch shaves Namor. I just really wish we had something that showed that.
Wait a minute, you look familiar. That friggin'. Imagine if he was just some homeless fisherman or something. The Human Torch, world famous Fantastic Four superhero, burns off your beard. The smell of the beard first would knock you sick. And then no one would believe it. It'd be like them memes you see where it's like Woody Harrelson like, hit me in the head and then said no one would ever believe you and ran off. It's like the Human Torch decimated me face, put his flame right next to my mouth, burned off the beard I'd been growing for months, and then ran away laughing and no one believes me.
Or even he could say that he got a free shave. I believe he couldn't afford it.
Oh.
It's he did him a favor.
It's winter and he needs all the warmth he can get. Lives on the dock, so it's freezing.
I just like, how random was that? What was Stan and fucking Kirby thinking?
Where?
Like, yeah, it was just like did like Stan shave that day? And he's like, Jack, a brilliant idea.
God.
I'm searching up now. Let's put Namor shaved.
Go for it. He's like, Stan's like, hey Jack, do you want?
I love how like stone faced he is.
He doesn't budge. The balls on.
But he even burns his hair too. Like, it's not just the beard, because his hair goes from like messy Beatles to the fucking Namor.
So even if it wasn't Neymar, the Human Torch is making him look like Neymar.
It makes it so. Let's see. I can't remember how he found it, like how he found Namor. But he's at the docks and they're like gonna bash the shit out of Johnny. And it says, first we've got to see what he really looks like. So let's give him a little shave. Flame on! He like shouts it for some reason, and it's just his finger. Holy, look at that! Oh, holy cow, it's the Human Torch. Oh, I didn't realize it was the Human Torch. See how simple it is when you know how? I can control the flame of my... Oh, this is when he has to, like, explain his powers every 2 seconds. Wait, his face! No, it can't be. It is! It is! He's the Submariner! Fucking Namor looks livid. Namor looks pissed because he's like, shit, I had a good life. Now this moron's just ruined it for me.
Torch. Now I'm gonna fuck your sister.
Yeah, that's actually why. That was the whole, like, main reason to why he wants to get with Sue. I had a good life as a hobo on the fucking docks.
You know how easy life was not being king of Atlantis? You ruined that for me, Torch. Now I'm gonna ruin your sister. No.
Well, I come here today to ask you.
Shaved and humiliated.
Yeah. Please kill Johnny Storm and let me fuck his sister. Don't blame me though, mate. It is Sue.
Because to Sue, she's like, oh, holding her ovaries. Scary music comes out of the back. Dude, you know what we've got next?
What's next?
Well, Born Again, really, because we'll be doing it.
Yeah, that's right.
Up next is the Kingpin's debut in Daredevil 2003. Then Born Again itself should start, so we'll do weekly check-ins on what we thought episode by episode. And then in about, 4 months' time, we'll be back on this with Law of the Jungle.
Oh, yes, the lizard one.
The lizard, 2 actual
that, like,
villains back to back. Crazy.
the one that actually probably inspired the entirety of the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, literally did.
Whereas I'm trying to find it on the IMDb's got the order like really mixed up.
Ooh. I found a Reddit post, and I wouldn't normally condone Reddit, but it seems to be right so far. Heroes and villains.
IMDb has it as episode 8.
Oh, Christ. We got Law of the Jungle, Sword of Shikata, Keeping Secrets. I don't remember Keeping Secrets. Who's the baddie in that one? Tight Squeeze is the one with the Russian vultures.
Oh, mate, Edward Asner comes back.
Oh, nice.
And he's
Episode
Keith
7 is good.
Carradine.
Carradine.
Is he the
Ooh.
killer?
The guy on the IMDb page looks awful familiar. It is. It's the guy who killed Uncle Ben.
Keith Carradine. Say that again.
Episode 7
say.
is Head Over Heels, where Tara Strong's the bad guy. Before she was Harley Quinn. I don't think she does a Harley Quinn voice. It's deeper, so it's less annoying.
Now everything's Harley for her?
Yeah, she's lost it, mate. She talks more like... It's a bit like Brooklyn Raven from Teen Titans.
Yeah. It's annoying, though. It's just... I'm sick of... She's not a good...
Video. She's the only negative I can think of in Arkham City.
Well, came to stick the knife in some more? Well, go ahead, B-Man.
And then the whole DLC was about her instead of, like, teaming up with Freeze or some shit, dude.
Well, like, I love how the DLC just randomly goes, yeah, Batman basically is just depressed that his best buddy died.
It's ridiculous, dude. You should be happy. You know what's funny while we're on the topic? The Arkham Knight build-up comics between, like, when the trailer come out and then before the game come out, they had about 50 little digital comics that told, like, stories in the Arkhamverse. And there's not one mention of this Joker poison stuff, of the infection. Because obviously that was the big twist of the game, that people are infected with Joker, even though it's so stupid. If I gave someone a bit of blood, they wouldn't start becoming me. But the comics actually show, like, a funny world, and Batman's actually having, like, a good time not having the Jokers to worry about.
Yeah, as soon as, like, Dini left, though, the games, like, it went really bad.
It crumbled, mate.
It's funny how much they were holding on to him to deliver all these stories. Like, as soon as he left, it went to shit.
It was just... It's the Hush build-up that pisses me off. All this climbing to our, like, there's a threat out there who now has Bruce Wayne's face. And then you're like, oh, Scarecrow's coming back. And then Hush gets taken down in one button press.
Yeah, like, even the fact they wasted it on such a trivial thing, too.
Yeah, his
like,
plan is stupid. He's like, oh, yeah, he's got his face, doesn't have his retinal, doesn't have his eyes.
Yeah, he fell at the first fucking hurdle.
Yeah. And then bottled it and took Fox hostage. Ridiculous.
City had such a good setup because it was so creepy as well.
Yeah, mate.
Him leaving that building made you like, oh shit, like the next thing's gonna go down.
It was intriguing as well. Like, you'd find a body, you'd trail the blood spatter to that random thug, and he's like, I didn't kill him, I was just disposing of the body. And Batman's like, who for? Bruce Wayne. And you're like, whoa, hang on a minute. And even Urkel's like, you know, Hugo Strange is like inside your head. Do you reckon he's like triggered some mental episode and made you forget? And Batman's like, no.
He gets pissed off as well.
Yeah.
He couldn't fucking stand that.
The build-up, both like physical and psychological, was great, and then Hush just falls flat. Idiot.
Who knew Dini was like carrying so much, man?
And now we've got Harley Quinn fart fetish comics.
The writer said this is not a fetish comic. I'm like, fucking shit, mate.
Are you sure, mate?
Is there any other reason why you were so excited to announce that you're writing a fucking fart comic?
Absolutely.
If I was a comic owner, like a comic store owner, and someone came in and going like, yeah, can I please get the fart comic? Like, immediately, mate, that red button under my desk is getting pressed.
The police are getting summoned. And Harley Quinn.
No hesitation, mate.
Madcap's design.
The narrator of the Deadpool game.
It was him as well. Wikipedia said that was him, yeah. At some point, Deadpool, like, absorbs his psychiatric personality or something. And he
Deadpool
was
comics
like,
just sound like a fever dream.
mate, I've got no interest in Deadpool comics, mate. It just looks, it's either him screaming about chimichangas or the shittest memes you could imagine.
The thing is that I'm pretty sure he's not even, like, now it's like he likes the food. But the whole point was that he just likes saying the word over and over again.
I've read that bit, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's just a funny word.
Yeah, but now it's like, because ever since the Deadpool game, they've got so lazy with the writing, they just genuinely think he likes eating them. It's like, what was it? Sonic loves corn dogs, but he actually loves them properly.
Yeah.
Imagine Sonic just randomly yelling corn dog over and over and over and over again.
Smashing through robots. He's like, whoa, corn dog. Ridiculous.
I love how Roger Craig Smith voices like Sonic. Like, he's almost like the Kevin Conroy of Sonic.
Well, he's got some range, to be fair to him. Like,
I know, mate. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the
He was Batman, and now he's...
What on earth possesses him?
Today, literally like 3 hours ago, I rewatched that fan film where he was old Bruce, you know, the Batman Beyond one.
Couldn't get credit for it in case, like, the contracts.
Yeah.
Even on his IMDb, there's a photo of him sitting down in a Sonic costume in black and white. He's built different, mate.
Final thoughts on the episode then, dude. Spider-Man, the new animated series, Royal Scam. Episode 2, if you ask us. Episode, 9, if you ask anyone else.
I think, in certain ways, it wasn't as good as the first.
Yeah.
But at the same time... Yeah, but at the same time, the show is, like, so much fun. I can't believe, like, how good it is. It's so underrated. It's literally like freshman year if it was actually how, like, good.
You know what? Yeah, like even in the civilian scenes, they're talking about, as we said last time, it's far more mature. They're talking about more mature stuff. Like, he's literally, Harry's basically saying, like, listen, are you gonna shag her or what? Well, in every cartoon, it'd be like, listen, man, Mary Jane totally wants you to ask her to the dance. It's like, oh, gee, I don't know. But in this, Harry's like, dude, she's gagging for it. Can you not just fucking do it? He's like, I don't know.
Harry's like, if you're not, I'm gonna fucking do it, mate. What are you? Harry's sitting there like some bitch, bro. He'd have to listen to Peter. He's like probably thinking in his head, this guy is such a fucking cuck.
Like, listen, the redhead goth is just praying for him, and he's not going for it. But again, this is probably my favourite Harry Osborn ever made. Because he feels like he's actually Peter's friend. They'll talk about stuff other than hating Spider-Man. They'll hang out. They'll watch telly together. You know what I mean?
I also I wish this show. I feel like this show would have, if it had the chance, do the drug story.
Yeah, he goes a bit too hard partying.
I bet they would have.
Could have had season 2 with him, like, after what happens with Peter. Yeah, I mean, happily, dude.
Like, now he's not fucking
Magnus Opus. After what happens at the end of the series, he could spiral not having, like, someone there to hate, you know what I mean? Not to spoil what happens at the end, I'm not going to say it. But there's so many places you could take it, and instead they just cancel it. I'm still fuming.
Where would you rank this episode?
1 of 2. Out of the 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, I would put it at top, but only slightly, because episode 1 was pretty damn good as well. And episode 1 had the more job of setting everything up. Like, as we say, the first time you see Peter, he's talking about being like, he still feels like an outcast, even though he's like in university with his friends and that. They had to set more up, while in this it was like, right, he's Spider-Man, he's in school, go.
And the Kingpin.
Kingpin. And
What
the
a
FBI arrested him at the end. So now he's in real deep shit.
How much does he get away with? It always like baffles me. The way that the Kingpin just seemingly manages to outmaneuver any situation.
I will say, I did miss Smythe.
My father. But my
You got
father.
Spider-Man to steal the chip. Was
My
wrong.
father wouldn't have.
Norman Osborn. He didn't even need him. Mate, in the animated series, Kingpin's got all these like plates spinning. He needs Norman to do his job. He needs Smythe to do his job, and he needs like whoever he's hired that week as his enforcer to do their job. Well, in this, he only needs these two random dudes, and he still nearly gets away with it.
Yeah, because this Kingpin gets shit done.
Yeah, mate. He
He
doesn't just
means
sit behind.
business.
One time we see him sat behind his desk, and that's just because he's got an important Skype call. So every other time he's up, he's out, he's doing stuff. He's physically there to get the chip hand in hand off Spider-Man. He doesn't
Yeah,
have
I
any
love how
nibble.
he's like so confused about it too, Spidey.
Yeah. What about, we've only done half the ritual. I scratched your back, and now you have to.
It just fucking pisses off.
What a rube.
I love how he kept making fun of him though, no matter what. It was always just like, well, Spidey is such a loser for falling for that one. Boss, we should be careful, you know. No, he's a fucking loser.
Yeah. You know, he could still figure out what's going on and come back for the chip. Nah, not that more. He literally calls him America's stupidest superhero.
Yeah. Does not give a shit, mate.
He truly was a
An
king.
He was
An
an
outlaw.
outlaw, mate.
An outlaw. Quick on the draw.
An outlaw.
My hero, eh? Fisk normally has good adaptions, though, doesn't he? Like, can you name a shit Kingpin?
When he gets raped.
Even the dude from the Trial of the Incredible Hulk,
No.
where he beats Daredevil by playing music loud.
No, mate, that was a horror. Even the casting was dog shit. What the fuck were they thinking? Didn't he have like a beard as well? Like, it was just horrible.
No, he's just a crime guy. Oh.
That was rough, man.
Who's your favourite Kingpin, then?
It's still Vincent D'Onofrio for me.
Is it?
Especially in like the Zdarsky run, that's all I hear is his voice. I guess it does help when it's clearly based off his Kingpin.
Yeah, I was going to say that, because it's made after the show, and you can tell the artist and the writer are like, so that's what they're trying to synergize it.
They're like, oh, so this is what people like.
Like, people want D'Onofrio Kingpin, so let's make D'Onofrio Kingpin in the book. I still hear Roscoe Lee
So
Brown no
cool.
matter what.
It's weird because like he's good, but sometimes it felt like I was getting ASMR. Like, you know what I mean? Like yeah.
He voiceovers in that the movie about the pig, doesn't he? It's a Babe. He's like the narrator, and every time it's on in the background, I'm like, oh shit!
Play that music again, the fucking from that intense fucking tune, mate. My father owned a pig. This
When I was a boy.
is a story. I can't wait, man.
Next time on Panel Pals, mate, we go back back to the origins of this bad man of crime.
And then after we go to the brand new Daredevil
Ooh.
Born Again.
Oh,
It's
yeah, we
all
did.
happening here.
Ooh. Come on, I'm still praying Mr. Fear shows up.
Oh, could you imagine?
I want more Gladiator
It's
because I've really got Gladiator. I just got Melvin Potter. We want Mr. Fear. We want the Jester. We want Stiltman. If he
We
can
want it to
fight
be Kip.
Frog, we want him to be
We
a
need to
cool
be
cat.
Kip now. And wow, and how?
How? We need him. We need Mike Murdoch. We need.
Yes. But not like the one where it's like, oh, Mike Murdoch's now alive. We need the
Not
classic.
just Mike Murdoch, mate. We need the
That was the
manager.
shittest part of the run for me, was that.
Because it got weird. Like, I like Daredevil being, street level, but now he's got
It
a
was all
super
street level.
swing
And then that
from.
one fucking annual
Asgard.
was just like, yeah, it was the opposite.
It's crazy. It's like, other than Venom, I don't like when Spider-Man fights aliens. Because, I like Spider-Man being like street level sci-fi.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
Like, if you suddenly take
It's-
Daredevil and you put him on the moon fighting Inhumans, it's like, that's not Daredevil to me. Daredevil's like gritty. He's in the streets fighting thugs and saving the little people.
Oh, don't you know that one comment said? Spider-Man walks Daredevil. In case you didn't know.
I did know, because I've read the comics, mate, and he's always on his ass. Even in Zdarsky's run, where Daredevil's at his peak of power, he's the most mighty he's ever been. Still, all he can do is trick Spider-Man into webbing up himself and run away.
Yeah, because he's just that good.
The Avengers
It's funny
fight
how
Daredevil,
Zdarsky...
and all Daredevil can do
Zdarsky's
to
the
Spider-Man.
only-
Yeah, good.
We need to do these in person so we can see when we're gonna talk. They need to build a base, an underwater base in the bloody ocean.
Power headquarters, mate. Look at the end of Spider-Man 2002, by the way. Not
It could be
2002.
like,
The PS1 game.
yeah, it could be like that, or like the Master Planner's base from If This Be My Destiny. Because honestly, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh no. We were talking about Daredevil, and even Zdarsky had Matt lose to Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. It's funny how Daredevil gets zero respect in modern day books, and then Zdarsky comes through and he's like, "Oh no, Spidey's actually like the best fucking character."
Yeah, dude. That bit where
It's
Spidey
such
turns
a
up
weird thing.
and he's like, he's the best of us. Holy, you can feel when Spidey's in the room, it's all Matt can sense. He's that powerful, mate.
Oh yeah, even like he's talking about his muscles in detail about how strong he is. It's interesting because Marvel Rivals have given him a bit more respect, like just a tiny bit. It'd be nice if it could change. But it's been a pretty short episode. I don't think there's much more we can even.
It was only a 20-minute episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wasn't much set up for the future. Like it was just
Both
more
have
like
been pretty condensed.
Yeah.
It does feel like a comic book.
That was it. Keeping Secrets is the Black Cat episode. It definitely felt like a comic book when Peter was waiting on top of the building and it did that transition like through his own mask lens to himself sitting down on
the cup
roof.
one where Harry's drinking and
Harry Osborn's black cup transformed into black Kingpin's white cup. Cinematography is incredible.
They really, really thought about it, if you couldn't tell. All the budget went into that one. It's hip. It's now.
My only problem, I wouldn't even call it problem, with the episode is how the hell did the Kingpin survive that?
Yeah. It made
False
no
fr-
sense. It was definitely like, shit, we can't kill him off.
He's got to be superpowered in this universe. Not only does he do that, he snaps the web. It's just too much.
He is built different.
Truly, he was an outlaw. So this episode will be coming out, I think, February 21st, if I'm right. Because then it's Feb 27th. Be Daredevil the movie. And then it'll be Born Again.
Should be 20th, will be my 21st.
Oh, well, indeed, yeah. Forgot.
Yeah,
Like
it's confusing,
20
isn't it?
hours ahead.
Oh my god, when we try to like sometimes when we don't do the usual time, it's like, oh my.
Yeah.
Should have like, wait, is that my Thursday or is that your?
Oh,
Because then we'll say something like, no, it's my Wednesday. Like it's just the same thing. Like, it's just back and forth.
what have you got coming up then, eh? For you,
Well,
it is different.
Besides making a base for the panel pals, so we can,
The
we can do it
contracts.
underwater.
You get sharks with lasers to defend them.
You mean I got freaking sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads?
We need an underwater base. Volcano Bay.
1 billion subscribers.
In today's modern YouTube, that's actually not that much.
Well, as I'm recording this, I'm gonna now somehow make a fucking Valentine's Day special.
You got 3 days.
Yeah, gotta record. No, I need to write, record, edit. Oh boy. But I have Superman Red and Blue, which is a member's request.
Nice.
Amazing Spider-Man's coming out soon, like the next issue, which I'm fucking dreading. I have other members' requests that I'm getting through, so right now I'm mostly just focused on that. My Muse video is like 6,000 words or something. I gotta still do the audio for that one. And now
That'll be
that's
good,
even
man.
soon. If that's like, oh, that's in less than a month now. It's like, fuck.
Dick.
But yeah, so just trying to catch up as best as I can.
Nice.
What about you? What's going on over there in that stratosphere?
Valentine videos about Spider-Man, but it's not. Even though it's Valentine's, it's not about how much I love Spider-Man. How much I want
But
it.
is there a certain fiend in the video?
Oh yes, there's several fiends, but there's one who's got, let's just say, he touched more than Peter's heart. So it is brief
Oh,
stories. And then there's one I'm actually excited about. Knockoff Spider-Man villains. Which is like, for example, Sandman. Obviously, everyone loves him. And then you've got Hydro Man, who's kind of just Sandman again. Then it's Daredevil, dude, for Born Again.
oh, that one's gonna be good, yeah. No, we got the thing about the panel pals is we not to toot our own horn. We make good shit, mate.
Yeah, mate, we're on the ball with it. And it's
We've
fun.
been non-stop,
It's all been fun.
except ASF.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't have to worry about that, do I?
Yeah,
That's-
you're.
Let's
I
go
don't know, as soon as I
strategy.
see that, it's always just downhill for me.
At least you get to look at Black Cat next issue.
Oh yeah, they apparently I think they sleep together. I think they do. So that one guy who's like, oh no, I wouldn't count as cheating. They just kiss. Where are you now, mate?
Let's put his penis inside it. That's not cheating.
Is that cheating? No, my wife does it all the time. I don't know. That's fine. I watch.
That's what it all comes down to, dude. Like, what degree Do you let it get too before it's too far? Find out
Yeah.
in all new and then stash Amazing Spider-Man.
What is cheating?